Hi, in this video we're going to be improving on the clicker game tutorial, and our goal here is to use a variable to help control how a balloon pops. When I think about a balloon popping, I think about it shrinking rapidly and flying all over the place, right? It can also come with a big explosion. There are a couple of different ways you could do it. Popped like a needle, or kind of like if you've blown it up and then just let it go. And that's the one I'm thinking of. Okay, if you want to explode it, I think I've got a better option for you coming in a different video. So this is more like just letting the tide end loose and letting it fly all over. So anyway, the way we're going to do this is we're going to control it with a variable that I'm calling pop step. So we're going to make a variable, and it's going to be for this sprite only. Normally we do our variables for all sprites, but in this case, I like to keep it only on the one. That way I can do it to each balloon independently, rather than having all of the balloons react the same way. So we'll say OK. Ooh, I said start there. Step. Okay, so now we have balloon 3's pop step that we can see in addition to the score. So now that we have that variable, we want to update what we're doing on the green flag and when the sprite is clicked. Let me rearrange those. So there we go. So when the green flag is clicked, we want to set our pop step to 0. And when the sprite is clicked, we want to we want to change our pop step by 1. Okay, so now they match. Okay, let me just reset those. Now we're going to add our conditional statements so that our balloon changes as we click it. And to do that, we're going to go to control. We're going to find the if statement. We're going to use this. And then we're going to need our variable, our pop step. We're going to need an operator. We're going to use the equals operator. So we're going to say if the pop step is equal to 1, we're going to do something. We're going to duplicate this, and if the pop step is equal to 2, we're going to do something else. We'll duplicate again. And if the pop step is 3, we'll do something different again. So on the first pop step, what I'm going to do is I'm going to breathe a little more air into the balloon. So I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. I'm going to change the size by 10. Pop step 2, even bigger than that. We're going to make it go up an additional 20. Now for pop step 3, that's when I want my balloon to shrink and fly all over the place. So let's think about that. We want the balloon to point somewhere kind of random. We want it to move, and we want it to shrink. So let's go up to motion. We're going to pick a point and direction, and we're going to want to move. So that's also in motion. We'll move and shrink. That's in looks. We will change our size. These are the 3 things we're going to try to do. Okay, so to make this point and direction kind of random, we're going to get, actually let me go back up here and scroll down. Let me find my direction variable. And let's see, we'll get a little random and some multiplication. And so we're going to point in a direction. We're going to point in the opposite direction. So direction times -1. And I'll show you how that works in just a second. And then we're going to add a certain amount of random. And because balloons tend to fly all over the place, we're going to say -45 degrees to +45 degrees. So let me show you what that does quickly. If we click on direction, we can see that our balloon at 90 is pointed to the right. So if we follow through our equation, this is our direction, it's 90. And we're going to multiply that by -1. So that means we get -90. That means our balloon flips this way, all right? And then we're going to pick a random number from -45 to +45. So that means it could go up this way, or it could go down that way, right? So from 135 to 45, because 45 and 45 is 90, 90 and 45 is 135. So we're going to point in this range somewhere, okay? And then we're going to move, and then we're going to shrink. So let's make this negative so we don't forget. So when we move, if we move 10 steps, that's not very much, right? Hold on, let me separate that out. So moving 10 steps isn't enough. So let's do this. Let's repeat it. And we'll repeat that, say, 5 times. So now, yeah, that's a good amount. Okay, so 50 steps. So if we change direction to something kind of random, okay, and then we start changing our size, you can see, oh, it went off screen, but you can kind of see how that's working, right? So now, let's see. If I go here, well, let's just put all of this in the forever block. And then the last thing we need to do is reset our pop step, because if we've popped, we want to be able to do it again. So then let's go back to our variables and we'll set our pop step to 0. Okay, so we go, we're going through this loop and, oops, we don't want it out there. We want it in this if statement. So if it's equal to 3, we want to start flying around and shrinking, and then we want to reset our pop step. Okay, so let's see what that looks like if I press the green flag. Oh, I haven't reset my size. So now at the top of my forever loop, I want to, ooh, hold on. I've forgotten about something here, because we're going from size 100, which is what I want it to start at. We're going to set the size to 100. Now we're increasing to 110 and now 130. And so now in here, we're going to repeat this a bunch of times. I'm sorry, I completely forgot about that step. So we're going to change size by minus 13, because 13 times 10 is 130. So that should take it all the way down to 0, right? Now, once that has happened, we want to put our pop step. Yeah, so once we've repeated these steps, then we want to reset our pop step. And then we also want to set our size back to 100. I got a little confused there in my steps. So let's do this. So let's stop that. Okay, we're going for the purple one. Hold on. Let me just hide these other guys. It gets confusing. And let's set our direction to 90. Let's do that again over here. Okay, so now okay, so let me pause that for a second. I like that, but what I don't like is that the color effect is changing before the balloon pops. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to drag it down here inside of this if statement. Let's see now. Okay, that's a little better. Oops. Okay, so I clicked too fast and we saw that pop step went beyond 3 before it could be evaluated. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to change that operator. And I'm going to say, instead of equal to 3, I'm going to say greater than 2. So now, if pop step is greater than 2, that will happen. That means if anybody gets excited and clicks too fast, it should still catch it. So that's what I'll try to do here. 1, 2. Aha. And now we're back to 0. That seems like it works. Okay, so that should be everything you need. Thanks for sticking it out with me. Good luck. Let me know if you need help.